Torzsi made his name as a part of the Budapest Five, quickly becoming the most exciting player in the Hungarian scene. I tried to get him into prospects earlier, but I made the mistake of allowing the show to be a democracy. The democratic era is over. Long live the king. Torzsi has played on Mouse NXT or Mouse Next, not sure which one it is, for less than a month, but he already looks like a threat to A-Core in the senior team side. Torzsi has yet to have a rating below 1.12 across the 11 maps he's played, and Mousesports have only lost maps to Skade, who are a tough side for literally anyone to beat. Individually, Torzsi's numbers are absolutely absurd. I mean, look at that. That's so big. But as we all know, numbers can be deceiving, so it's time to dive into the demos. He's Torzsi, I am T, and this is Prospect. Torzsi is an AWPer, plain and simple. He hits shots with good speed and consistency, not the flashiest I've ever seen, but a reliable performer with the zoom banger. Torzsi's main strengths outside of his scoped supremacy are his decision making, his positioning, and his utility usage. JDC is the second biggest fragger on the team, thanks in some parts to the flashes Torzsi throws to help him retake bomb sites. This setup play came in handy against the world ranked number 16 team Entropic, who just couldn't hold a bomb plant against Mouse to save their lives. There are several examples where Torzsi will take a risk, but then make the right decision to not overextend, therefore increasing that risk, and retreat back, preserving his life and his AWP. This was something that was quite noticeable on Inferno against Skade. Torzsi constantly taking aggressive lines, but then retreating to preserve his life when Skade didn't offer him anything. It's quite clear that Torzsi is one hell of a clutch performer, making impossible situations look actually winnable. He even wins a lot of these situations outright, which adds to the long list of things he does to help win the team rounds. Torzsi on the CT side is a joy to watch. He almost exclusively AWPs, which is supported by a sound team financial strategy, as every team who wants to be good really should. Positional variety is key to CT AWP play, as predictability will get you zoned out or outright killed. On Vertigo, the first big impression Torzsi makes is a big double kill in the battle for mid. He later then fights on A ramp on rounds 12 and 13, repeating the position because he wasn't challenged the first time. That second time Torzsi took the peek down A ramp, he nets an early round double kill and then converted that into a triple kill to put the round beyond any doubt. A classy A hold through and through. One of Torzsi's most complete rounds in terms of showing off all the different aspects of his skill set was on Dust 2 against Entropic. The T-side throw a long fake, forcing Torzsi back. Aware of the timings and the likely ensuing aggression from the T-side, Torzsi stays alert and is actually able to pick off two players as he retreats back to the bomb site. Short hasn't been confirmed clear yet, so he takes quite a cautious approach retreating down there when he goes to meet up with the tunnels player. In order to slow the T's down, he mollies the bomb site, giving him and Shane extra time to rotate through long and then retake the bomb site. He closes out the round by hitting the final shot onto Elian. Here on the T side, I want to start with Torzsi when he doesn't have an AWP. He rifles quite aggressively. I noticed he plays sort of a hard entry role, which is likely an admission of his own weaknesses as a rifler. He does a job, he creates the space, but outside of anti-ecos, Torzsi on an AK is not that desirable of an option for the Mouse NXT side. The juicy stuff is, of course, the AWPing. I love the diversity of picks, of angles on CT side, and the T side doesn't disappoint either. In a 30-round map against Skade, he pulled out all the tricks, and some were traditional, some were a bit wild. Round 28, he whipped out a log peek, which probably left Ship slamming his desk. I mean, the molly would usually be an indicator that the player's going to peek behind the molly. It's something I've seen a few players attempt. Absolutely insane. Very creative and probably very frustrating if you're the opposing AWPer. Something they use a lot on the T side is having torzsi just try walk up into an opening, into a bomb site, and you just hope that the silence leads to a stray CT being caught in the open. A great example of this is on A side Ancient, where torzsi got opening picks in successive rounds using that method. The CTs think they're safe, jiggle peeking or playing behind the boxes on the site, but torzsi clears all his angles very methodically and also is way too fast to allow you to get away with that sort of, well, error. Watching his demos, it becomes quite apparent why his impact rating matches his regular rating. He finds a lot of opening kills, but he also is very quick to multiply them into multi-kills. Round 24 against Lyngby Vikings is a great example. He picks up the opener after a sloppy flash completely misses its target from Christu, takes out the AWPer, moves up, takes the space himself, and finds the second kill, completely opening up the round. This is an aggression which most AWPers with a low death rate, high rating, rarely attempt, if ever, but it's something torzsi is more than willing to do. A later round on that same map of Vertigo shows this off to a T. He bravely takes space up the ramp, holding it / clearing it as his teammates fight for the other side. As the round slowly crawls to a halt as they get towards the bomb site, he picks up a double kill to reopen things and wins the map for his team. torzsi is an interesting case, and it's one that's quite reflective of the modern AWP meta. The majority of top teams, and the teams that are trying to emulate them, are prioritizing getting the AWP into their AWPers' hands and then allowing them to do what they need to pick up kills and stay alive. This is something that is kind of offsetting the JDM factor, which is where an AWPer really can't rifle. Like, they're basically a net negative if you give them an AK or an M4. To fully flesh out his game, I think torzsi does need to work a bit on his rifle and pistol play. He does, for now, play the supportive utility role in most pistol rounds. You know, he has full sets of nades or 2 nades and a P250. And then on force buys, he's rarely a threat. These things won't make him a bad player, but they might hold him back from having consistent impact on the top teams when they're playing against other top teams and the games are too close for him to reliably have an AWP every single buy round. It's nice to see that on rounds where torzsi does have an AK, he's either throwing utility or creating space for his teammate. He's not allowing his weaknesses with a rifle to be a problem. It's in some of those rounds that the riflers around him shine the brightest. With an AWP in hand, there are few players outside of Tier 1 who can be so methodical and careful, but also as impactful as torzsi is right now. The young Hungarian's playstyle is perfect for a team who are looking to dominate through their sniper. If I were Acor, I'd be shitting myself right now, because torzsi is legit, and he's gunning for that spot on the senior side. Okay, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on torzsi, if you've had the pleasure of watching him play, and if you think he's going to make that step into mouse sports. Leave a sub if you want to see more content, and follow me on Twitter and Twitch for more nonsense, I guess. Yeah, that's all for this one. Goodbye.